The richest square mile in Africa, Sandton City, is one of the places you can spend your time at this festive season, be it business or leisure. Let's take a look at this phenomenon.
Tell us about this global 15-minute neighborhood. Where does this concept come from?
Well, I think that any CBD would always be looking at ways to make sure that they continue to thrive, they continue to be able to be have versatility in their offerings. So the 15-minute neighborhood's really about if you're working in the space, if you're living in the space, what supportive amenities would make it easier for you to actually live, work, and shop and play in a space. And we are always looking at multiple offerings in a CBD like Sandton to make sure that within a 15-minute walk, drive or actually cycle, that you at any point will be able to find everything that is convenient to you, be it lifestyle, be it work that you're there for, or you are actually just doing shopping or actually visiting a nearby park.
Yeah. The work-life balance has become such a pertinent part of everyday life, yes. Right? How important is it to actually hybridize spaces within the city itself in order to foster such things?
I think it's critically important to protect all our green lungs, which is we've been very lucky in Sandton. We've got 2 parks. And then, of course, the offerings of shopping, the offering of a small coffee shop to actually our offering of big and small meeting places, especially post-COVID. The hybrid environment is still very prevalent. It is something we all had to adapt to in terms of people being able to have small meetings, big meetings, conventions, and all those type of things in a 15-minute neighborhood. And that is where we as Sandton are very proud during the learnings of COVID, is that we're able to adapt, to be as resilient as possible to overcoming those challenges, and being able to also adapt and invite these type of changes easily as well. And I think a lot of our landlords and the community has really tried to make those changes to make sure it could be for any user into the space and arriving into Sandton can actually feel comfortable and actually say, wow, these changes has really adapted very well to the changes of our lifestyle and our work environment.
Sandton, of course, is the richest square mile in Africa, which means a lot of our economy actually is dealt with within that square mile. What goes into consideration when trying to create such spaces and transform them into these world-class, eco-friendly, human-friendly spaces?
Yeah. So, livable city is very prevalent. We have to make sure that people who are living in these cities can live happily in healthier environments. And one of the, I guess our challenges in Sandton is, of course, being a very successful city centre, we do sit with congestion issues. So transportation, be it through public transport initiatives to creating friendlier and more efficient roadways, such as the M1 and Greyston interchange. We're partnering with the city in redesigning that interchange. And of course, adapting to the African city as well. We also have to look at how to improve the reliability of traffic signals. So we continuously working with the municipality, which is Joburg Roads Agency, in seeing how we can explore making sure traffic signals continue to be on during power outages. So those are things that we do try to initiate and work through a conglomerate of stakeholders, landlords, tenants, that we can come together with a solution with the city to become a bit of a successful public-private partnership.
And how important is that partnership between the private and the public sector? And how much of a percentage actually goes into consideration when it comes to both of these parties?
So in particular, from a city improvement district point of view, it is a 50-50 partnership, definitely, because yet it is the people that make the area, the livable city, but it's also, we need government to also be a critical partner in making sure projects like what I've mentioned previously works as well. And we have to support them, because in the end of the day, a very well livable and a safe and aesthetically pleasing public space will only improve the assets of our property owners with their interests, their investments in a city like Sandton.
And just lastly, this concept is, or some would say, is relatively an international one. So my question is, how have you actually integrated or tailor-made some aspects of it in order to actually function within an African context?
Well, again, like I said, we have to understand firstly our client, which is our landlords, and our tenants, who are actually decides to actually set up home in Sandton. And then from there, obviously, we cater to what are those needs. Firstly, in an African environment, like you say, because we have the constant power outages, how can we make sure our traffic flow continues to work well, coming into Sandton, leaving Sandton on a daily basis? And how do we also promote developments that could create more residential in the space like Sandton, where so that people could now start living close to where they work, so they have to commute less. Again, it's all adapting to what the needs of this community needs, in this case Sandton, and also what would work for the international travelers who are also looking at world-class cities. What do they expect when they come to Johannesburg, come to Sandton? What do they expect to see? That they feel safe, that the area is aesthetically pleasing, that it has the international level of standard of facilities and offerings that it is used to when they're back at home. And I don't think we are falling anywhere behind in Sandton, and we would always strive to become that leading city, that innovative city, and most importantly, we've learned the word to be resilient as possible and adaptable to any challenges and anything that comes into play in actually making sure that we continue to be a successful city centre.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Riley.
Thank you.